Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys all about my custom MAC palette. I asked you guys on my Instagram if this is a video you'd be interested in seeing, and I got quite a few yeses, so I figured I'd go ahead and do it. So basically in this video, I'm just going to be going over the pricing, the colors, do a couple swatches, and I'm also going to explain why I got each color. So if this is a video that you're interested in and you want to know more about my custom MAC palette, just keep on watching. Okay, so let's start talking about the actual palette itself. I just took the insert out so I could talk about this. Okay, so basically I got this in, I believe, March. It was my first big MAC purchase. I do have a couple of the MAC single shadows that come in these little pots like this, but I didn't have any actual palettes. So I was really excited to make this, and they were having a deal at the time where each individual single shadow, like a little pan, like so, was $6 instead of, I believe it's normally $10. So they were $6 a piece, and I got a 15 insert palette, and basically how it worked was each individual eyeshadow was $6, and then the actual insert itself in the palette was $10, so altogether that adds up to $100. So in my opinion, $100 for 15 eyeshadows that you get to pick your custom palette, I think that is an amazing deal. I just couldn't pass it up, so I was really excited when I first got this, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it. So I think I'm just gonna go row by row and do swatches and talk to you guys about the colors. This first eyeshadow is called Blanc Type. Blanc Type is a staple eyeshadow for me. This eyeshadow I use for so many things. I use it to highlight my brow bone. I use it to set my eyes before I do any eyeshadow, stuff like that. However, this shadow either is going to be discontinued or it already is. So if it hasn't been discontinued yet, I highly suggest getting your hands on it. This is an amazing eyeshadow, such a staple in my collection. This shadow is called Omega. I picked up Omega because I was looking for a nice neutral brown that wasn't too warm, that I could use as a transition shade for some of my cooler smoky eyes, because normally for a transition shade I'll use soft brown, which I'll be showing you guys next. But I just wanted something that was a little bit more cool, a little bit more neutral, so that my look didn't always turn out too warm, because sometimes I really want an all cool tone look, sometimes I want an all warm tone look. So I really just needed a nice shadow that was a great transition shade for that. And this shadow is also just great for all over the lid. It's just a really pretty color, and I'm so happy I picked this one up. This shadow is called Soft Brown. So as I said, soft brown is my perfect transition shade. I will use it for that. I will use it in my crease. I will use it on my lid. I use this shadow every single time I do my makeup and I'm using actual eyeshadow on my lid. I even used this today. I don't have any eyeshadow on my lid, but I did smoke out my lower lash line, and I did use this to help blend everything out. So this is a great color. This is definitely a staple. This shadow is called Corduroy. Okay, so Corduroy is just a really nice brown color. It has a little bit of purple undertones to it, but nothing too deep. It's just a really pretty color. I love using this in my crease, especially paired to soft brown. Doing soft brown as my transition. This is my actual crease color, and then Embark, the next color I'm going to show you, in my outer V. That is my favorite go-to staple brown smoky eye. So this color definitely comes in handy for me all the time, and I'm so happy I picked it up. This shadow is called Embark. Embark is a really nice deep brown color. This one has a lot more purple undertones than Corduroy does compared next to Corduroy. The swatches do look similar, but looking at them in the pan, they are two completely different colors. As you can see, Corduroy does have purple undertones, but it is a little bit more neutral and kind of has a little bit of a gray to it, whereas Embark is straight up brown with some purple undertones. This shadow is called Brown Script. Brown Script is definitely one of my favorite colors in this palette. It's such a beautiful, warm, reddish undertone brown. I'll use this really thick on my lash line, kind of blend it out a little bit, and then I go in with either Embark, or I'll go in with a black shade and put it right on my lash line. And it's just a really pretty look. It's one of my favorite looks to do. It's so easy and so simple. It's kind of what I do when I'm in a rush. If you guys want to see a tutorial on that look, let me know. Kind of like my everyday go-to makeup look, and I'd be happy to do that for you. But yeah, this is Brown Script, and it is the best color in the world. This shadow is called Honey Lust. Honey Lust is a really pretty gold, pinky shadow. It's really hard to explain. When I first saw it, I thought, wow, this looks a lot like All That Glitters, which is a shadow that I already own in one of the little pots. They are a little similar, however, I would say that All That Glitters is a lot less gold and a little bit more bronzy than Honey Lust. So Honey Lust is kind of like All That Glitters' more gold sister. This shadow is called Mythology. Mythology is definitely one of the more unique colors in this palette. It's a really pretty copper color. My only beef with this is that it's not as pigmented as I would like for it to be, but I really only use it as like a wash of color on the lid when I'm doing a more red smoky eye. So yeah, I really enjoy this color. I use it often, and yeah, that's Mythology. This shadow is called Coppering. Coppering is my favorite color out of this palette. I use this shade all the time. It's such a beautiful copper color, but it's a lot more red. It's a little bit more of a rust color to me, but I really love this eyeshadow. I use it all the time, and if you have blue eyes, this shadow makes your eyes pop like crazy. This shadow is called Rule. Rule is another one of my favorite shadows in this palette. It's just a straight up matte orange shade. I use this all the time when I'm doing a super warm smoky eye, or especially if I'm doing one of my more reddish orange colored smoky eyes. I really love this shadow. I use it more often than I thought I would when I first picked it up, which makes me so happy that I did get it because it definitely gets used all the time. This shadow is called Arena. Arena is definitely one of the colors in this palette that I don't really reach for. I will use it sometimes if I just want a wash of color on the lid, especially if I'm doing just a more neutral eye look and I have brown to my crease that I don't want to do anything gold or sparkly on the lid. I'll reach for this. It's just a really nice skin tone color, and it has a little bit of a sheen to it. This shadow is called Foggery. I use Foggery a lot on my lid if I'm doing a really nice like gray and black smoky eye, or I'll use it in my inner corner because this makes your eyes look so bright. Use it on my brow bone. Sometimes I've even used this as a highlighter, and it works great, especially if you're super fair, because it is a nice frosty white shade. So I'm really happy I picked up this color. It gets a lot of use. This shadow is called Idolize. Idolize is definitely one of the most unique colors in this palette next to Mythology. It is such a beautiful periwinkle blue with a little bit of mint green reflex. The camera does not do it justice. I'm looking at it in the viewfinder and it's just nothing compared to what it looks like in real life. This shadow is called Black Tide. Black Tide is just a really shimmery black eyeshadow. I don't really know why I got this. I'm happy I got it, but I'm not really sure why, because once you use this, whether you use it in your crease, your lower lash line, you use it as eyeliner, whatever, the sparkles all disappear. So that's kind of a bummer, but either way, I love this shadow, and I definitely use this all the time. It's got a pretty good dent in it. And this last shadow is called Carbon. As you can tell by the swatch, the shadow is not very pigmented, and I'm very disappointed. I don't know if I got a botched one or what the situation was. I didn't swatch it in the store because I figured it's a black eyeshadow. I know what a matte black eyeshadow looks like, but this one just, I'm not impressed. I rarely use this. If I'm going to use a matte black shadow, I'm going to use the one from my Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. It's in Blackout. I believe that color is also in the Naked 2 palette. But that is the most pigmented black eyeshadow I've ever used. This is just very underwhelming for me. I really never use it. I might pop out one of my single shadow colors that I use a lot. I might do All That Glitters, or I might do Satin Taupe. I don't know yet. But I think I might pop that out, put it in here, and then store it away. I don't know. I'm very underwhelmed. Just not a big fan of Carbon by MAC. I don't know if it's because I got a botched one or what, but I also kind of feel that same way about Arena. I don't know if Arena was supposed to look like that. It's kind of just a color I figured, oh, it's skin tone, it's got shimmer, I'll take it. I didn't really feel the need to swatch it because it wouldn't really show up. So yeah, there are a couple in here that I do use, but I'm just a little disappointed in the formula. I don't know if that is a formula issue or if it's just that I got one that was not formulated correctly, but either way, I love this palette. I'm so happy I got it. It was so worth the money. Alright guys, so that was a video all about my MAC palette. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing down below. Also, let me know down in the comment section what other videos you would like to see from me, and I'd be more than happy to do this for you. I believe next on my channel will be my tutorial using my Alice Through the Looking Glass palette. I talked about filming that tutorial in my brow routine, which I will link that down below as well if you're interested in seeing that. But until then, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.